name's Guy Smith. I come from a mixed arable dairy farm on the northeast Essex coast. If you want to know what's bothering me at the farm just at the moment, it's returning my maps for the third time to the RPA. And it's receiving bump from the DEFRA, sort of mild irritants when you get soil protection plan, REDU directive K9. Ensure you harvest in dry conditions to avoid soil compaction. To be frank, I find that a little patronising. I feel that if politicians are serious about wanting farmers to produce more, then somehow between us we're going to have to rebuild the trust whereby farmers can go about the everyday challenge of food production. Looking to the future, it is the responsibility of every generation to prepare the ground as best they can for a new generation and give them new confidence. If we're to meet the challenge of tomorrow, then we need to recruit the brightest young boys and girls at school today, to train them effectively, and to make sure that they have well-beating R&D in place today for tomorrow as well. In terms of the organisation, the NFU, I pay tribute to the front foot style, the can-do attitude of our President Peter Kendall. I think he's infected the whole organisation for the better, but there's no room for complacency. We need to build on the membership progress we've seen in the last 2 years. In particular, I'd like to see better engagement of the individual member at grassroots level, and I'd like to see more vibrancy at branch and at county level. I'll leave you with 3 messages, which I think must be at the core of our communication strategy and our lobbying. Firstly, the British farmers have a well-beating animal welfare record. They care for the animals in their charge and they care for the wildlife on their farms, even if that involves taking tough decisions when it comes to controlling animal disease. Secondly, that the British countryside is a beautiful and biodiverse place, put there in the main by working farmers and maintained by working farmers. I suspect that in the future the CAP will shift its payments towards rewarding farmers for delivering things like landscape, biodiversity and a clean, low-carbon environment. If that's the case, then that message will become increasingly important and increasingly valuable. And finally, the British farm produce is a traceable, wholesome, good value product. Produced to the best standards, it is the product of choice on the supermarket shelf. We have lost as an industry 10% of the food pound and 10% of our home markets in the last 10 to 15 years. We would do well as an industry to regain some, if not all of that. Obviously, things like a supermarket ombudsman with teeth, better promotion of the red tractor, and more honest labelling would be a step in the right direction. People say to me, you know, sometimes that this seems a fool's errand because at the end of the day, people don't care where their food comes from. Well, if that's the case, why is it so many retailers, so many manufacturers like to pretend their products come from British farms when actually they don't? I'm sometimes accused of being a little strident with my messages. I do have a quieter side, and I think that's reflected in my CV. However, when it comes to those messages, I believe them with a passion, and if there is one quality I want my generation to rekindle and hand on to the next generation, then it's self-belief.